Well, it continues to be an escalating crisis, let's put it that way. Of course, there were some good signs 10 days ago when an agreement was made in Geneva, including with Russia, to help stabilize the situation, to de-escalate, to encourage illegal occupations of buildings in eastern Ukraine to come to an end. Since then, the Ukrainian government have done a number of things to honor their agreements. They've drafted an amnesty law, they have been collecting in illegally held weapons, they've been supporting the international observers. But unfortunately, Russia has not done anything in that period that we can discern to help de-escalate and to fulfill the Geneva Agreement. On the contrary, they are now conducting large-scale military exercises on the eastern borders of Ukraine and refusing to call on those occupying buildings in eastern Ukraine to withdraw from them. So in those circumstances, as you just heard President Obama saying, we will go ahead with additional sanctions. The cost to Russia will rise. We will always keep the diplomatic doors fully open. We want to work with Russia on this. But if they won't work with the rest of the world, then the cost to them will rise, and we're working on those additional sanctions now.
Well, let me push you on that. What areas are you looking at? The existing sanctions have had zero effect. How will these have more bite?
Well, these are most likely to be, we're still discussing them, of course, with other countries. They are likely to be an extension of existing sanctions, of the travel bans and asset freezes on individuals. The more names we add to that list, the more they do bite in the Russian economy. But we are also working on more far-reaching measures of economic, trade, and financial sanctions. Of course, we've always hoped, for our sake, for Europe's sake, for America's sake, as well as for Russia's sake, that we don't have to go ahead with those things. We want world trade to expand and improve. But we will go ahead with them if necessary. If Russia continues to escalate this crisis, we will calculate them in a way that has the maximum effect on the Russian economy and the minimum effect on our own economies in the European Union. So the work on those is going on.
See, I mean, are you saying about those trade sanctions that they're for the future? They're not what we're going to hear about tomorrow?
I am saying that those are for the future. Yes, I'm saying what we will hear about in the coming days, what we will agree in the coming days, is an expansion of existing sanctions, of the measures against individuals or entities in Russia. And of course, what Russia really has to worry about here, even if they pretend not to be concerned about these sanctions, is the long-term effect on the Russian economy of this whole situation. Already we have seen more than $60 billion of capital flight out of Russia so far this year, and serious falls in the Russian stock market. So no one should underestimate the impact on Russia and Russia's own interests of continued escalation of this crisis.